Okay, now let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this.
Road, Ed Carroll.
Okay, just it.
Can I get a motion? All right, motion by Mr. Benson, second by Mr. Pierce. Okay, question or comments? All right, Mr. Frank?
Mr. President, while the CEAs are in direct relation to the funding of the 6 roads that we're doing in 2025, you know that we had a committee meeting and we talked about these 6 roads and where the funding was gonna come from. These 4 that you talked about, that's the treasury money. It was also put to us on the funding that we were gonna have some old capital outlay money that was gonna be paid for some overages on a couple of roads and then basically on 4 roads that it would be spread across. And I've looked in the minutes.
Yes, sir.
You know, Mr. President, I can't find anything. The only thing that I've found from the engineering group that I requested was, it was talked about on January 10th in a meeting with the Road and Bridge Committee. And then after, Pan American was instructed to go and actually do the amendment for the old capital outlay, which then specified that you would
Turn
use
them both
this
on?
354,000 on these 6 roads to do. And that was on January 9th at 1:21. That was when
That's what
the
I've got.
correspondence were. But I can't find anywhere though, Mr. Darrell, where any capital outlay.
Do
The
I?
only thing I ever heard was Kevin did mention in one
No,
meeting in
no,
February or
No.
March, Kevin
Let me
mentioned
pick-
about
let me
capital.
pick it up.
You
Let me
mentioned
pick
that
it
there
up.
might be some capital outlay funds. But that's the only thing I ever heard about.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't find any minutes of a resolution.
Use of matching money.
It was
To get out capital outlay money.
It was 350,000 from road and bridge. You had 354 of capital outlay with some savings from previous years that we just couldn't spend at the time. And then, you had the treasurer money of 750,000.
Kevin, what was that? Leaving it in the account with that old capital outlay money.
Okay, just reboot
That was old
it.
capital outlay money.
HDMI is on, and
Wasn't
analog
used.
is on.
And a lot of that came
Pull
from
one
when
of
we did the
those.
$8 million of work with the ARPA funds. And Pat-
resolutions that we have. And I'll just say this going a little farther too. I never knew of any budgets on any roads, right? So I never had no concerns on overages, unders. Actually, my 2 roads came under from $150 to $64,000 tonight. But $354,000? Well, what if the jury would have voted not to use a 354 on these 6 roads? What if the police jury would have said, we want to split it in 9 parts?
Okay.
That's the majority of the jury right here. That's what their vote could do. But I wasn't made aware of any of that. I mean, other jurors, if y'all want to speak up too, did y'all know anything?
We didn't get 75.
Yeah, everything's green on my.
Because, the other 4 juries got treasury money. That wasn't the reason. The reason we got $75,000 was because $304,000 out of the road and bridge money was
Yes.
being used for those 4 roads. And I said, y'all getting $304,000, then the other 5 jurors deserve $75,000. And that's why. It wasn't because of the treasury money in the roads.
Where was the vote for for the capital outlay money? Where was that in part of the plan? I'm asking the question, because when I asked the question, Mr. Clyde, 2 months ago, I met up with Jamie and Kevin Barlow right here, and we went over it, then all of a sudden, it's where do we pay for each one of the roads? Then it comes capital outlay. Well, hold on, I know we have new capital outlay coming, but that's not gonna be till next year. Then it was, Kevin said, that's old capital outlay money. So for the last 2 months, I've kind of been chasing my tail here and trying to figure out where this money came from, because it never was brought in front of the jury.
Yeah.
Travis, y'all never found it in the minutes?
There's,
'Cause I remember
Kevin,
us
there's no,
discussing
I
it.
don't think so,
Yeah.
there's no
There's
resident.
nothing?
No, sir.
Because I remember us
That's-
discussing it and Mr. Clyde giving a big, just kind of what he just did right there. And we talked about the underage and on some roads and overs, but I don't remember what month it was.
I mean, when an auditor comes for our 2025, and look, I'm not trying to just throw darts. I'm just saying, you know how it comes, how particularly they forward procurement, right, and state contract. You and me and Jamie deal
But
with
it's
that.
separate, okay.
What happens when the auditor
Okay.
next year audits us and Jamie and I working there, all of a sudden, 354,000, where's the jury vote? We don't have a jury vote. Well, then you can't authorize that money to move forward.
Yeah.
A committee can't, a committee that everybody is on, I commend them for all the work they do, but a committee cannot dictate a dollar.
Right.
Actually, the law, if you look it up, the president of this board has a maximum of $500 on a spending that he or she can allow. So we have to follow with votes on every bit of funding, and we've been doing a good job with that, I have to say. But this one's a big miss because I wasn't aware of it. And I don't know what, I mean, we're working backwards, and it just, I don't like the way that's played out really, but I don't know. That's why I'm asking if anybody can tell me, was this just a committee? Apparently from my email that I saw, it's a committee meeting that was done on January the 10th between Kevin Barlow, Clyde Benson, Darrell Wiley, and Pan American Engineers, with you're present here, and between Rhett and also Brennan Gaspard.
Can I say something?
Yeah. Oh, sure, I wanna.
No, we just might need to back up and just double check some things. Jamie, y'all got an email on January 29th from me. You, Mr. Clyde, and Travis, meeting agenda, and Mr. Darrell, and it says, Mr. Clyde would like to add capital outlay roadway improvements matching funds. This is the $350,000 needed to complete the Act 776 projects. Match the 25% needed for capital outlay, and extra money needed to complete other projects in the rest of the districts. Each district that didn't get 776 money would receive $75,000 for roadway
And that was
improvements.
voted on.
That was voted on, boss,
Yeah.
yep.
I thought it
The
was-
75,000 for the 6
But
districts
the
was
whole
voted
thing
on.
wasn't voted on?
No, sir.
No.
Not,
Okay.
that's what I'm getting
That's
at.
what I'm
And I'm
asking.
I'm just saying, it's
I
just,
know.
the capital outlay does not have a resolution that I can
Was
find.
that letter to put it on the agenda?
Yeah,
So it's for the February meeting?
yes.
So we need to look at the February minute.
I don't
The
find
only
anything
thing
that
there,
we voted
the
on.
motion that, Mr. Benson made was $75,000 for those districts that did not receive treasury funding. And that was, six.
That should have been 6 districts, right? 6 districts,
No.
75 grand
Five.
apiece, right?
No, five.
It's five.
Five others.
Five.
Well, only 3 got treasury money, right? You know?
JB Lucas split between District 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
is that what y'all
it's
did?
five.
Okay, I
Yeah.
got you. So it's,
And
that's
that
what makes
is
it
the
5.
amount.
Well, I don't know, we just need to go back and look, and then y'all, whatever y'all wanna do, we fix it.
How you,
You can't,
It's always been my understanding, and Jamie's been here a lot longer than I have, that any expenditure of money, especially $350,000, has to be voted on by the entire jury. I mean, that's just logic. If it didn't happen, for whatever reason, I mean, it's my understanding from what y'all are saying, and Travis, correct me if I'm wrong, it's my understanding that Mr. Clyde brought up that the districts that did not get the special funding from Darrell were gonna get an extra allocation from capital outlay, which capital outlay is discretionary for the jury, correct?
Yeah, the jury, from my understanding, the jury decides on capital outlay, right, Kevin?
Well, there's a project set up with MPNC that specifies what those capital funds.
From a vote from the jury, so it could say either one road or 10 roads.
So that's
to make it
semi-discretionary.
Yes.
But the money from Darrell was specific to a certain district, and to
Exactly.
compensate for that, there was discussion or a vote that the districts that did not get the money from Darrell were gonna get an extra portion.
That was voted on.
That's not how
That
it
was
was.
separate from the 4 roads from there.
It wasn't like that.
No,
It wasn't like that.
that's correct.
What it was then, I'll repeat it, was that $304,000 of road and bridge money was to be used to complete those 4 roads. And when I seen that, I said, okay, if 4 roads, if 4,
Then now, to pay the bills, now they're saying, no, not roads and bridges money, like he said, like we voted on. We're gonna use some old capital outlay, and that hasn't been voted on by the jury, never was.
Regardless of the source of the money, any reallocation or reallocation of that much money, it's got to be voted on by the entire jury. Now, I don't know if we have a specific policy that says that. If we don't, we need to have one. I mean, it's kind of goes without saying. Jamie, do we have a specific
There's
policy that
nothing
says it?
specific. Anytime, since I've been here, any project of this size, it's always been voted on.
Right.
Pan American would come, submit the application, take roads from each juror, give them the amount, and this is what we bid out.
And that's always been my understanding as well. I've never seen it written down,
It's not written,
But
but I mean,
it's
that's
just
just,
right.
that's what we did.
but moving forward, any allocation, especially $350,000, whether it's, no matter what the source, there needs to be a vote and a resolution, not only for just transparency, but the auditors. I mean, they're gonna wanna see that, you can't just start throwing $300,000 here and $300,000 there without some type of vote or resolution. So moving forward, that needs to be a definite policy. And if y'all set a certain monetary threshold, fine.
We had one. I thought we had a $5,000 threshold.
Well, we exceeded it.
Way exceeded.
And then.
Record the
coming
committee
from-
meetings? You don't record the committee.
Whatever's discussed at
50 was gonna come from capital outlay, X amount was gonna come from Darrell's treasury money, so on and so forth. It was confusing that evening, okay? If Travis wasn't able to find it in the minutes, then I'm speculating that at the regular meeting, it didn't come up for you guys to take a vote on that $354,000. So yeah, y'all would have to tweak that. On the 75,000, I understood everything that you said. Here's my question pertaining to that. If I remember correctly, the 304 from roads and bridges, so you felt like the 75 should go to the others, and that was gonna come out of roads and bridges, correct?
Right.
But then at some point in time, wasn't it determined that rather than that come out, the 75, come out of roads and bridges, it would come out of capital outlay instead, some overage or something in capital outlay? Am I incorrect? Because Mr. Travis, you said that there's still money sitting, roads and bridges, that's 75, that was never used. Did money get paid and that came out of capital outlay somewhere?
There's no authorization for capital outlay, ma'am. So that's why I'm asking the question.
So that 75
No,
that
the
you
354.
intend was never paid to anybody, or did,
No,
to any
nothing's
juror,
been
or did
paid
they
yet.
get their 75? If so, what account did that 75 come out of?
well, I thought it was coming out of road and bridge.
Okay?
It will be if that's how it's,
Yeah.
if that's how they carve this thing out for each road with its distinct funding source, then that's how it's gonna be paid.
So Jamie, that 75 that he's talking about has not been used as of this time?
Because I haven't received anything, then once I get the spreadsheet and they carve out each road,
Correct.
and it'll be taken, this will be paid here.
That's what we're trying to figure out. We
And
have
that
a
will
spreadsheet
come
where
out
the
of
funding's
roads
at,
and
nothing's
bridges,
lining up.
because that's what was
That's right.
voted on to come
For
out of
those
roads and
other roads,
bridges.
correct.
That will not come out of any kind of capital outlay
What he voted on
funds.
is how it will be paid, which is the $75,000 for the 5 districts that did not receive funding. That's how the motion.
From roads and bridges,
Roads and
correct.
bridges, that's
So
correct.
then, when that is paid, that has to come out of roads and
That's
bridges. Okay, okay.
That's what was approved.
Okay, and like I said, on the other issue, I remember Kevin's detailed about the 354 capital outlay treasury, blah, 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 blah. If it's not in the minutes, then obviously it was never voted on as it should have been.
Okay. Again, the motion was to approve revisions to the CEAs that we got on this, so motion been made and seconded. Anybody want to say anything about the treasurer bill on this motion? I'm sure I have to sign the revision, correct? Yes, sir. Question or comments from the audience? I hear none. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 12, Mr. Pierce.
I'm gonna make the motion that we send a letter to the Department of Energy and Natural Resources requesting that we opt out of the state's solar permit system and use the parish's permit system. Mainly because if a solar farm goes to the state is gonna collect the permit fee. Or if we're allowed to use our own permit, which is actually much better than the state's, then the parish is gonna collect the permit fee. That's the biggest reason for doing it.
All right.
And it is allowable under the state law.
All right, can I get a second? Second by Mr. Thomas. Question, comments from the jurors? What do you want to tell the public, maybe what's the big difference between the two? Ours and theirs?
The single biggest difference is the set-asides. The difference between where the panels start and where the fence starts. Ours is 50 feet. The state's is 300 feet. That's a huge amount outside the area of the solar farm. And in most instances, the people that are paying, the solar farm people are paying from the fence to the fence. So that's a huge amount of land that's not usable that they're paying for. But we also have some other things that are easier on the solar company than the state's regulations.
Question, comments from the audience? Yes, sir.
How far is the fence from the neighboring property?
Fence is on the property of the farm.
Yeah, but how far from the neighboring property of the solar farm would the fence have to
Fence is
be?
on the property of the solar farm. But the panels are gonna be 50 feet inside of the fence.
That's why I want to know if they're gonna have to know how far from neighboring property they're gonna be putting their fences. And then if you want to just go 50 feet beyond that, in other words, my intention is to find out how far the solar panel's gonna be from somebody's house.
If there's a house involved, there is
Possibly.
a green barrier, and the set aside goes to, I think, 150, but I'm not certain. It's bigger, it's wider, and there's also a green barrier, some Agnes or something.
And what's the state's requirement on something like that?
It's the same barrier, but 300 feet.
300 feet versus 50 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big difference.
It is.
Any other questions, comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, Mr. Coco.
All right, make a motion that we approve the Monroe Farm power line, relocation. Cost that exceed $75,000. And Kevin, want to touch on that?
Yes. This is under Road and Bridge again for off-system bridge program. Every 2 years, we get money from the state and federal government to replace dilapidated bridges. One of the conditions of getting this money is any utilities that are in the way, it's up to the entity, which would be us, cities, whoever, or the state, when they're getting their own bridges, to have those utilities relocated at your expense. Of all the bridges we've gotten since I've been here, this is the first one to where we actually have utilities that are in the way that the utility company has prior rights. And so we will have to pay to get those utilities moved. We've had some water lines and stuff on some others where we did some other things. But CLECO is the power company. We got a price from CLECO, and I've talked with DOTD personnel and actually talked to Red about it after the committee meeting. I'm getting some other prices. But he basically said, the utility company owns that utility, they're gonna charge you what they need to charge you within reason to move those utilities, okay? This is a $1.4 million bridge, Red. Yeah, that's gonna essentially cost us, right now, $72,000. So if we put a cap of 75, but I am getting two other prices from utility contractors that are licensed to do work on Plico's right of ways. And I'll have them, and once we get all them in the next week or so, we'll take the low bid. Okay? We have to have this power line moved by January 1. Okay? The job is gonna bid in November. Mid-November, so December they'll be signing contractors. So realistically, the contractor won't be working in January, but possibly they could. If the contractor moves on site, and we have not moved those utilities, the parish is liable for liquidated damages per day to that contractor till utilities are moved. You know, this is a power line that runs on the opposite side of the levee at Monroe Farm along Big Bend Road, but it's on the bayou side. And in the past, we've just gotten them to move it aerial to the other side. You can't right here because it's full of live oak trees. So they have to go underground. That's why they're charged us. If they could have just moved their line to the other side of the road, we could have got away with this free, like we did on some of the other bridges.
They can cross the bayou.
Sir?
They're gonna cross the bayou under.
No, it follows the Big Bend Road. So it stays on that side of the bayou.
On one side of the
Yeah,
road.
so they'll drop down 75, 80 feet before the bridge, go under the roadway, come back up 75, 80, it's around 300 feet they're doing. That's 100-something feet for each side of the Monroe Farm crossing. And they'll go down and then come back up. Okay. Leo Morrow's the same way. Slimco dropped it, but they didn't have prior rights, so they had to pay for that one themselves.
And Kevin, when we do Bobby Gasport in the future, do you think there'll be a problem or no?
Right now, we don't see a problem with Bobby Gaspard. The power line's on the back side of the roadway, and you have fields there. We can actually, like we did on in District 8, get them just move the line back 20 feet. You have to have that line so many feet from the crane bolts, you know, and that's where we're getting into it. And I've actually got a contractor, a local contractor that's gonna be bidding on this project, go and look at it for me. And if he comes back and says, that thing's not in our way, then we just won't do it, you know? If the contractor says it's fine, you know, because the state's, they put it on us. So I just want to be safe, I want to make sure the job moves forward. This is 5 years of trying to get that bridge, you know. Okay.
Got a motion, I need a second. Second by Mr. Thomas. Question, comments from jurors?
Where did that money come on? Road and bridge?
We usually say.
Question, comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 14, Mr. Coco.
All right, also, we have a resolution in the packet. It's recognized on September 11th, tax. Make a motion to pass the resolution.
All right, got a motion to pass the resolution. Get a second from anybody?
Second.
Mr. Burrell. Question, comments from jurors? Question, comments from the audience?
And I'm sorry, I didn't understand, it's a resolution pertaining to what?
The 9/11 tax.
Oh, the tax-free
No, the 9/11 tax.
tax, I got you,
Yeah,
okay.
no tax.
Okay, I was like
The
confused.
September 11th tax.
That's what I thought, but,
That is a three-letter word sentence.
It's recognized in the National Day of Service in November.
All right. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Markfield to allow the city of Markfield to demolish two structures on 204 Felix Street and 275 Legion Drive.
I got it.
All right, motion by Mr. Benson, second by Mr. Morrell. Question or comments, jurors? Question, comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Pierce, number 16.
Now I'm gonna make a motion that we nominate Clint Orman to the Fire District 2 Board.
All right.
I second.
Second by Mr. Coco. Question or comments from the jurors? Question, comments from the audience? All right, being none, all in favor of that motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 17, Mr. Benson, you want to take it?
Security cameras for the York Union.
No, 17.
Authorize Kevin Boyle to attend the LPESA conference, October 8th and 9th, for $150.
Motion made, second by Mr. Thomas. Question or comments from jurors?
Select court security cameras at the health unit, $7,112 by PC 911
Okay. I see you make it the line for it.
Make a
All right.
motion.
All right, motion by Mr. Benson, second by, any second, Mr. Thomas. All right, question or comments from, jurors? Question or comments from audience? Yes, ma'am.
Never any other bids from other security camera
Quotes.
companies?
Yeah, we got quotes.
Quotes?
Yeah, we got quotes. And,
So what were the,
PC 911 com is local in the Avoyelles Parish. They already have a service contract with the jury. We got an established business relationship with them. And they can respond to any problems, like within 30 minutes. And they were also recommended by the regional program manager for us to go with, PC 911 com.
so the other people in the parish, they?
It wasn't no other quotes in the parish. All the other quotes, you had one from Whitford, you had a couple of quotes from Alexander. PC 911 was a little higher because of their service and our relationship. You know, I'm asking the jury to go. And we got a service contract with them now, which would have to get a service contract with this other company.
They was only a local company.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know we have another company in the Bessemer area.
but they didn't get a quote.
So those things are like they put out like y'all put out like an invitation for
They
them
did it by
to?
phone, because it doesn't meet the actual advertisement for the bid requirements, so they just solicit phone bids, but they did get that one from Computers 911 they were talking about. They got another one from Bit Happens out of Alexandria. They got one from TSS Security Systems and Sinlaw Alarms. And I think that was it.
Yeah, one from Woodward.
Woodward, that's the Sinlaw Alarms.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, Chase didn't submit anything that I seen.
the regional program manager did background work on this.
Yeah, she got.
Yes, she got the quotes. And, you know, our conversation with her and Joey, I decided to ask for C9, 911 call to get the service, those service contract.
So
Alright.
she actually got him pipeline. She got a good before.
Sorry, guys.
Any other comments from the audience? All right, hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. 19, take it, Mr. Coco.
All right, make a motion to approve, Joey Frank to attend the LEMP conference in Lafayette from October 20th to October 22nd, reimbursed by the EMPG grant.
All right, can I get a second? Burrell, I'll second. All right, question, comments from the jurors? Question, comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Mr. Pierce, number 20.
The Bucky General Hospital, we lost Judge James Nixon. And in an emergency board meeting, they asked that we nominate, that we fill out his term with Joey Franks.
All right,
So I'm gonna nominate Joey Franks to just finish out Judge Nixon's term.
second by Mr. Thomas. All right, question, comments from the jurors? Question, comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, number 21, I need a motion to authorize payment of Pan American invoice number 35644 for $64,198.50 for Phase 1 Recreation and Educational Complex. Need a motion?
That comes from that grant.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's with the state also, but that's reimbursed. I already received the first, distribution. And it was like $350. And part of that will be used to, pay for the planning, acquisition, and equipment as it comes in, those invoices.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion? All right, motion by Mark, second by Mr. Coco. Question or comments from the jurors?
I have one, Mr. Darrell.
Go ahead.
Mr. Darrell, on this, or Jamie, maybe anyone else that knows about here, on this recreational and educational complex, so it's being brought to us to approve engineering that was done to do preliminary design on a recreational facility. So who's making, who or what makes the decision of, what if the engineering would have been 400,000? They just, somebody's voting or somebody decides what the engineering is, or does that come from a committee? Like, you know, because they're doing a multi-million-dollar project, so that's why I'm asking the
I
question.
think initially, whenever they applied, I'm sorry, Pan American
How does that
applied,
happen?
they put out a scope, and I think on there, correct me if I'm wrong, there's an amount, there's a percentage or to the dollar, not to the dollar, but a dollar amount that you guys gauge for these projects.
Yeah, we put together a scope of services
Right.
and prices. They follow the FPNC guidelines, and we have an engineering agreement with the police jury in Pan American
Yes.
for the amount that's allowed to charge for the service.
So the,
This is all reimbursed.
So this was already voted on? He said we have a contract with the police jury.
yes, but that,
Engineering agreement.
yeah, that was done early on, whenever they first applied for this grant, that was
Yeah.
Probably.
back in
Before-
21. But I do
before-
have that's voted, signed, that's in my office.
So I'm just 24, okay,
Yeah.
that's why I'm asking.
I put this on here because it is a large amount, and I just received the first cycle of funding. So I don't want someone to come back later on and say, hey,
That
did you
was
get this money?
That was
We-
January 2024.
That's right. And then, well, 21, it actually started, the package.
Go
was
back and
sent
pictures
to
in the
them.
paper.
So I just received 350. Just to let you know, I received 350, and part of that is to cover their cost for engineering, then planning, acquisition, equipment. However, it comes down to the spending is what we're getting the money from.
And correct me, that's gonna be for the baseball fields, right?
Baseball
The
complex.
front section is gonna be the school board, right, with their little educational facility.
Yes.
And what's the total amount of the project supposed to be? Do you know?
For the ballpark,
ballparks, yes, sir.
it's a little over $4 million.
Okay. I'm learning every
But this is just phase one, that's why I made sure I put phase one, because that's specific to planning, constructing, planning, acquisition, and equipment.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Red, after all that's done, who maintains all that?
That's to be
For
determined.
real plumbing is what I.
That's gonna be determined.
Was that?
No, I want to.
Any more comments from the jurors? Question, comments from all, Mr.
Ms.
Cloud?
Jamie, the 350 that you received for this phase one, that 350 comes from the money Darrell had secured for this project,
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
correct?
Mhm. It's similar to it's just like capital outlay.
Okay.
And there's some more,
And there's
we got a lot of
other-
in-kind services involved in this also.
Thank you.
It's very similar.
Who's overseeing these plans? Who's making the plans?
We're putting
Pan
together
American.
plans, Pan American.
You got 4 ballparks and the longest fence is 200 feet.
Yes, sir.
That, we got 2 T-ball parks and what are the other 2? 2 more T-ball parks?
They're all 200-foot parks.
That's useless. I mean, that's what I think. I think that's useless. Unless we're gonna get a bunch of
220.
T-ball going on it over there.
Actually,
Like
probably
220 would have been more.
10 to 12-year-olds.
12-year-olds won't play on 200-foot field.
They gotta be about 230 or 40 or 50.
Yeah, they're going to 250.
Back in the day, in LA, they were 200.
Yeah, they were. Now, the kids are outgrown playing on the field.
That's,
It's not small, it's too small. I mean, if we're gonna do this, let's at least do it right. I know we're well into it already.
Well, so
I don't know. I guess
Go ahead.
If it's being presented from the police jury, I'm sort of taking more time as president. I
Has
just
not
want to
the
know,
facility
you know,
planning
a
already
little what's
approved
going on.
the?
Yes.
I really don't know.
There's money for the facility that's capital outlay money, which is the bulk of it, is about 3.5 million.
Yes.
And then there's 3 House bill acts from the last 3 years that have given money. One of them's 3/4, one of them's a half, and one of them's 350. So there's money coming from multiple House bills from 3 previous years and capital outlay. The bulk of it's capital outlay. So we have a budget. We started the conceptual planning and doing the cost estimates. And the budget that we have dedicated for the project is what we're building for. So we're limited on being able to go to bigger fields because of the cost. Because it's a significantly more expensive to build a park with a 300-foot fence than a 200-foot
So we're
fence.
gonna be a 4-use ballparks.
Well, the facility is also being planned where it's gonna be flexible to be used and improved later. So things can be added to it.
Don't
that-
we have
that-
some land issues too, land ownership issues?
I don't, but not that I'm aware of.
You know where the ballpark is?
Not that I'm aware of, no. I think we've taken care of all of
I
those.
think it got changed to 4 small parks because there wasn't room to put up a big field or 2 other or something.
I think it was more the budget, Mr. Darrell, that drove, we have so much money, but again, the facility's being designed to where it can be added on and enlarged
In your
later
opinion.
if there's funds.
In your engineering opinion, it wouldn't be hard to change to a 250-foot fence on one of those ballparks if we
We've
needed to?
looked at that and it's gonna bust the budget if we do a bigger field.
So why are we doing it?
To have something
Because we
to
have the
start
money.
with and to have something to provide to at least some of the
Okay.
area ball
This
fields
is a
and ball
proposal
teams.
by
and
our
stuff.
representative,
Do you,
and this is what he
refresh
wanted
my
to do.
memory,
I
did we,
understand.
get approved for that
So-
waiver, the match,
Yes,
for this part?
yes, for that part, yes, we did.
Which
Because they didn't
encompassed
listen to their
the
questions.
4 million,
They had bid it out.
something like that. I just wanted to make sure.
Because if it's not
Couldn't remember.
And you want to go back, when this first started, there was a committee formed, and Mr. Roy was the president. He and I were on the committee, but it was outside of, and some people, Darrell got together, Representative Distel got together, and we met one time or 2 times, and, you know, I worked the plan and all that.
I'm all for doing it, but what we're doing is useless. I'm sorry, it just is.
I agree.
It just is.
Duly noted. Okay. Any other comments from the audience?
Yeah, I do. Mr. Redd, Mr. Redd, instead of 4 fields, would it be in the budget to make at more of a 300-foot or what, 280-foot fence versus 4
Play high
fields?
school ball.
We've looked at multiple options
Okay.
and budgets and we've redesigned this thing multiple times, okay? And where we're at right now, after multiple scoping meetings with the representative, with some of, I think,
Who did we meet with the other day from New Orleans?
Richard Avery.
Richard Davis.
Richard Aberg.
So we met with facility planning. We have to design the project within the budget. We can't, because what happens, the plans we're putting together, the specifications, the opinion of probable costs, all has to go up to facility planning.
Correct.
They're gonna look at it.
Correct.
And give us comments back.
Correct.
And again, everything has to fall within the budget that you have. So we're trying to provide something that's gonna be functional and useful, maybe not as broad of a spectrum of games and sports that we'd like to have, but we're also designing the facility that it can be expanded,
if there's
added
future
to,
money available.
if there's more money available. And
I'm not
that's
trying
the
to call
plan.
you out, Brett. Don't misunderstand me. I just think this is. Get blowing up stuff.
When is this projected, those project projected to be complete?
I don't know the completion date. We're working to try to get it in construction by next year,
Okay.
but I don't know.
I think something like that's a year or 2 it takes.
It's probably a year.
So you
yes.
think like at least 2 to 3 years from now, if the kid was gonna upgrade.
They're gonna maintain it
some money,
for, they're gonna provide 10,000 for 10 years, I think, for maintenance.
It was a million for 10 years.
huh? I thought it's 100,000 a
I
year.
think you need to,
Okay. At least that.
Oh, 2 years.
100,000.
We're trying to get into construction, probably gonna take 9 to 12
It's not
months to
even.
finish.
I won't ask the question because
Red,
I don't know.
excuse me.
Yes, sir.
If I remember correctly, in the meeting that we just had a couple weeks ago,
yeah.
I think our state representative pretty well gave y'all a deadline of 60 days to get finished with this
I
plan.
wanna say
Yes.
2026 is when that has to
But he
be.
wanted those plans within the next 60 days, and I think he was pretty adamant about it.
Guys, there's nobody on this jury that's sitting in on the planning, all right, let's just say how it
Yeah.
is.
That's
Your
true.
concerns, I guess, Sam, your concerns need to be expressed to the representative, because this is his,
I have the same complaint, and I've talked to Red
Yes, sir.
about this already.
We're well
And I
aware of
talked
the
to
concerns and
our
the complaints,
representative.
and we're well aware of the.
question or comments? Jurors, question, comments from the audience, here none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right,
Kevin, how's it going on the low roads?
It's good now. Good now, it's gonna be good. Don't put no more rock. Told my